Good evening and welcome to the United Real Therapy. Where's my therapy army? We've got an interesting show coming up for you tonight. We're going to be looking at Ollie's press conference. We're going to be looking ahead to Man United versus Brighton. And then we're also going to cover all other United-related issues throughout the week. Obviously, how's everybody feeling after the international break, which was a bit of a dull, really? No games were that exciting other than North Moldova beating Germany. We always like that, don't we? Other than North Moldova beating Germany. So welcome, guys. Mundo's just joining me. Ollie Bumbaye is sorting out his mic, hopefully. So welcome, people. Before we get into the topics, I just want to send, on behalf of everybody behind the Mundo and Ollie Bumbaye, we want to send our condolences to Claude, RIP Claude, and send our condolences to Claude's family because, you know, he was a very much appreciated, you know, kind of a amazing die-hard football fan. Real genuine. He came across every time, even when he was angry, when he went on his rants. It was never for a show. He came really genuine. He was a passionate Arsenal supporter. And I'm genuinely hoping that Arsenal Football Club do the right thing tomorrow. And for the love that he's showing him throughout his life, that they honor him with a minute's silence tomorrow. But welcome, people. Welcome, Mundo. How are we feeling? How are you? How was that international break for you?
Usually I dread the international break just because the football's dry. But to be honest with you, I couldn't really tell the difference between that, and because there's no crowds and because of the COVID thing, all football just feels like a training session anyway. So
yeah,
it didn't feel like there was that drop in quality like you normally experience when there's an international break. So it wasn't too bad, and there was a lot of goals scored as well, and some shock results. So it was actually quite. Yeah. It's better than it normally is, actually. To be fair, like with the Macedonia result against Germany.
Yeah, North Macedonia. Yeah,
Luxembourg against Republic of Ireland.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's a striker in that striker for Luxembourg.
Pushing that propaganda. You know what? Basically, we're talking about in the WhatsApp groups, people, just letting you in. We're talking about strikers for Man United, and the Luxembourg guy scored. And
Rodriguez
scored a fantastic goal against Ireland, and then he scored again, didn't he? He scored again. I think he scored twice during the international break, but everybody's pushing their boundaries. I was laughed out loud. People laughed in my face, literally laughed at me for suggesting Ollie Watkins. I really like the way he presses. I like his tempo. He might miss chances, but he's always in there trying to score goals. And I think I'd rather be seeing strikers getting in the right places in the right times than strikers who got a lot of injury prone, but he's got a lot of energy. But anyway, maybe that's what we can do tonight, guys, in the comments. We've got about 15, 20 of you in here. We've only been in for 3 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. We can't build this community without you. So please subscribe, like, and share this video and the stream. So we need to get more people to come and to get that real therapy. So tonight, obviously, Ollie Bumbaye is... Let's see if he can hear us. Ollie Bumbaye, can you hear us? Maybe you should try again to try to rejoin us. Maybe that's what you need to do. So let me just see if we can remove him for a minute and see if when he comes back, maybe we can add him. Let me just see. Okay. Basically, big up to all the people from Nepal. We got somebody here. Mr. Structure, thank you very much. Can't be using my government name around here. Nice to connect with you, brother Neiman. Baral, all the way there. Maybe you can tell us where you are currently placed, where you are in the world, people. It's 9 o'clock. It's just after 9 o'clock in the UK. Let me know what time it is over there as well. I would love to know what time it is in Nepal. Big up.
I think I like this food called momos. I think the Nepalese. They like dumplings. They're nice.
Yeah. There we go. Momos. Oh yes, yeah. We got some momos around here as well. Nepalese food. Yes. They're good. Food. It's amazing. Definitely. Southgate was playing like Ollie. It almost felt like Ollie was in charge of the England team. with the two CDMs. With the two CDMs, man. Much love, man. Much love, Samuli. Much love, bro. Definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome. So, Mundo, we're going to get into this. So, Ollie's press conference today was fascinating because obviously for 2 weeks we've not heard from Ollie. Did you catch any of the press conference? Did you see anything from the press conference today?
Yeah. I watched the presser.
Yeah.
And it was, well, first of all, he talked about injuries. So, fingers crossed that we have Rashford and Greenwood for the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what's happening with Cavani, and Martial obviously carrying a knock from the French game.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't have anyone up front if Greenwood and Rashford are injured. So we need one or both of them fit. I think Lindelof has picked up a knock.
Mm-hmm.
As well, but Pogba got some game time, and then obviously the other debate was around the goalkeepers and whether or not De Gea comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
I think for now we stick with Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other obviously talking point was around Haaland, who's now being hawked all around Europe by his agent.
Oh, of course.
And Ollie saying that we're quiet on transfers.
I just want to ask you a question. What happened to that? Some of you in the yo, big up Dan, by the way. Therapy needed. We ain't even played it, because we need the therapy a couple of days before. That's why you get therapy when the stress comes. You know how to deal with that. You know how to deal with it because you've been equipped to deal with the stress. So, yeah, definitely. Let's see how Man United turn out. But Mundo was just going through what Ollie in the presser today said, which is basically when he was asked about. There was interesting questions actually. I watched it live, and there was 3 questions, and I'm like, "Come on, you journalist, man. Okay, you write down the question. This is a journalist here. You write down the question, and then some of the journalists ask that question. Don't you go to your second question? If that was your first question, don't you go to that? They asked the same question about David De Gea and they asked about David De Gea and Henderson. And I'm like, come on, we'll see. Whatever question you ask, we will see by Ollie's actions on the pitch when he picks his team. We will see which goalkeeper he picks. Oh, yeah. But big up Dan TV, man. If you're not subscribed already, guys, head over there after the stream's over and subscribe to Dan TV. Legend, absolute legend. I love his tweets. All about trickery, you know what I mean? Absolute trickery with the magic with that football. Him and his compatriot there, him and his comrade there, just showing bare skills, man. Bare football skills. That's the therapy. Trust me, Dan. When Man United get to me, Dan, I come on your Twitter, I scroll down there and I watch all the juggling skills, man. Incredible juggling skills. Just to say here we go. Nimaz come back. 1:45 a.m. in Nepal. Wow. You know what? That honestly, that warms my heart, bro. That warms my heart that you want to watch this live. I really, really appreciate you, and we all appreciate you. You staying up that late. I hope tomorrow you got a day off, so you can have a bit of a lie-in. And yeah, let's hope me and Mundo, and hopefully Oli Bumbaye, if he gets in here, we will not bore you to early bed. You know what I mean? We're not listening to us to fall asleep, basically. I hope that's not happening. But anyway, the most interesting aspects from Ollie's press conference today was how much he was downplaying when he was asked about the Haaland situation and about how Haaland, and it's really interesting, Mundo. I want to bring it to the forefront. I thought that would be the last or the title of this video. It would be at the end, but I want to bring it right to the front. What happened to old school tapping up footballers? Most of you don't know, guys. In old school football, not old school, I'm talking about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, teams will go and get representatives through agents and through friends and that. Tap the player up is called tapping up a player. Basically, you got in touch with the player indirectly through other intermediaries to see if the player's interested in joining your club. Then you go on, build the hype to get the player. Nobody does that anymore. Now you got man like Mino Raiola. Agents ruining football, mate. Agents, super agents, going around on a private jet, negotiating with having conversations with Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're flying to the UK to speak to Chelsea, City, and I mean Man United. Come on, I mean, it just shows you how much our structure will not learn if they blow all of that money on Haaland when we can't even create chances for the other strikers at Man United anyway. But it's really interesting. I don't know what has happened to tapping up players, and I would like to ask you, is this the future of football, where super agents are on private jets, flying in and out of countries, getting multiple teams to bid for the same player? Is this the future?
I think I wouldn't say that's the future. I think that's the here and now. I think that's how it's been for a while. I mean, Arsenal have moved to an agent-led model. Manchester United have had an agent-led model for a good few years, which is why clubs are always charging us astronomical fees when we're coming for their players, because a slice of that money is going to the agent. So the club's not actually. So when we talk about 100 million for Pogba, Juventus didn't get 100 million. We went in for Sancho. The reason why they were holding firm on that price is because of the slice of that pie that's going to the agent. Mm-hmm. And in terms of Haaland tapping him up, I mean, surely Ollie's got his number. Ollie must have his mobile number. He should be on there saying, "Nah, come on, Erling. Me and you go back long, way back." But the price being touted, 158 million. Manchester United not paying that. Pep's come out and said we can't afford that. So they either have to lower their asking price, or I think Roman at Chelsea has actually said he's willing to just go all out to get this guy. So maybe Chelsea are the only team that can afford him, to be honest, because Barcelona haven't got a pot to piss in. They're 1 billion in debt, and Real Madrid are saying that they're saving their coppers for Mbappe. Mbappe's their first choice. So Chelsea is a good, it's looking likely in terms of destination for him. I don't think Manchester United are going to buy him. I don't think we've got the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big up man like Malcolm Kinsella. You know what? R.I.P. Claude. Definitely all our thoughts go to Claude's family and friends. And there is on Twitter, on AFTV, guys, if you check on AFTV on Twitter, there is a line if any of you guys want to contribute to the funeral costs and to Claude's family and friends. So head up there, guys, once it's finished. Here we go. So Finland, apparently it's 11 o'clock. We got people watching from Finland, and it's 11 o'clock in the evening. Wow, 2 hours ahead. Woo, Finland. 2 hours ahead. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Evening.
Good evening. That was our friend, was our friend Arsenal manager. Good evening, Mr. Good evening. I just want to, I think Ollie tried. I don't know if you heard of the story, but last summer, before he went to Dortmund, Ollie tried to sign him. Ollie went out there to try to sign Haaland. And Dortmund did us. So Dortmund just didn't do us. They did us over Bellingham. They did us over Haaland, and they kept Sancho. Dortmund absolutely got Man United grabbed us, give us a couple of slaps, and get us on the headlock, and just mannered us. You know what I mean? Like mannered us. You know what I mean? Like you do with your little cousins. That's what when the little cousin try to test your strength, and you just grab them and just, just handle them a little bit physically. That's what Dortmund did to us. They literally bantered us, physically handled us. There's about 25 of you in here now, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
And what does that say about the state? What does that say about the state of our club at the moment? That we're getting out-muscled by Borussia Dortmund. And it was interesting. I heard some quotes from Bellingham, who's obviously very talented young footballer. I was thinking about him. Oli Bumbaye, can you hear us? Because we cannot hear you. Hello?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Brilliant. Welcome. We were welcoming in Oli Bumbaye. Already looking at the other day, I was looking at the last podcast we did, or the last show that we did, and I was seeing that the love for you in the comments is quite divided. You've got a lot of fans and people who think you are the Ricky of United Central. Sorry, United Real Therapy. So, yo,
It's
shout
all
out
love,
people
man.
from Toronto as well, man. Shout out people from Toronto, man. Love, love, love people. Like I said, there's over 25 of you in here. Please, let's like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And come on in, guys. Come on in. We just did the intros. We've been in for 15 minutes, me and Mundo. Ollie Bombaye, did you catch any of the Ollie's press conference? I just want to add one more thing about what I noticed was the fact that he said nowadays everybody wants to know, and that's about part of modern life. Players being talked about and no secrets anymore in football. But I actually believe that Man United link themselves to players so that they get traffic on social media. That's what I believe personally. That's my personal opinion. I don't have any massive evidence to back that up, other than that when Woodward turns out and says we're trending #1 on TikTok, that says trending on social media means a lot to the guy who's in charge of our club. The Glazers are in America, guys. The guy who's in charge of the day-to-day running of Man United is Ed Woodward. That's who it is, and we need to get him out sooner the better. But anyway, he said about hopefully Man United will be will sign players that we've not been linked with, that are not in the news. So that was a bit of a hint about the type of player Man United are going for. Like I said, we need about 3 to 4 players. But Oli Bumbaye, please come in and let us know what you thought of the press conference. Also, we were talking about, I'd like to ask you the same question, because we've got, for the first time, we've got Mino Raiola going out, literally, going and speaking to Real Madrid and Barcelona, coming back to go and speak to Chelsea, maybe City, United. I don't know if he's speaking to United, because I don't think United can afford. Apparently, United's budget is 100 million, and that would be way over the budget. So we're going to blow all of our budget on Haaland, and we can't even afford him with our budget anyway. They want 150 million.
بعمل شيء please strictly دقيقة.
That's just, I don't think he's listening. Maybe he's not listening. But anyway, I like you. Are you there, Oli Bumbaye? Can you hear us?
Sorry, Dino. Yeah, I'm here, man. I heard everything you said. What do you want me to answer?
To get your answer. What happened to tapping up players anymore? What happened to the old dark school arts of football where you were able to tap a player up? Now the player is paraded around the planet with the consent of the club that he's at this moment in time, which is very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, last podcast I found pretty funny. I was ready to give us, Haaland and Kane and Grealish. Then I found out there's no money. So, so I guess it's time to play FIFA and locate some players.
Is that after you've spoken to your friend Woodward, Ed Woodward? Is that what happened? Did Woodward get in touch and say, stop showing me up, linking me to all these guys? Was there a conversation taking place with Neil Ashton at least? Can you deny? Can you deny that, or can you admit, or can you deny that? Are you denying that there was a conversation taking place between you and Man United communication officials?
I am a Man United communication official. No, bro, listen. Serious talk now. Haaland being paraded everywhere, and you look at the budget that we're hearing we've got. I mean, I'm not sure that the press conference is where we are, isn't it? We want to talk about this press conference. So I watched it. It was a good press conference, and he sounded like we are not going to be signing who we all think we're going to be signing from that press conference, from what I heard. So I'm intrigued. I'm always, transfer day is always exciting. And we need some players. But if we're not going to get the Haalands and the Kanes and the Grealishes with the, that transfer budget of ours, then, it's back to trust the manager. He seems like, I don't know what you thought. He seemed, quietly confident that he's got a vision that he wants to see by August, he said. Mm-hmm. People are going to be, surprised by where we're looking and what we're looking to sign. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's going to be more of a Mundo, you and Mundo were saying, especially Mundo last week, about 4 or 5 players, under the radar type of players. And if they get those players, I mean, and there is no Kane and Haaland and Grealish, I'm not going to kick up a fuss. It's always interesting to give these guys a try. Let's see it, because we want to find those gems, don't we? I think all of us, like last week we were saying, it's nice to find, like, Liverpool, look at Robertson, £10 million, was it? What a player.
Mm-hmm.
Look at even us, we were the kings of that. So if we're doing that, and some of these signings work out, then I'll be more than happy, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll put this to you, Mundo. Sorry, I'll just go to this comment. They link us to players to generate positivity, as well as after every bad loss, we're always linked to players. Oh, of course. That's why I always say, as soon as Man United lose, Ollie out, Woodward, Glazers out, these things are trending on Twitter. Next minute, Man United are linked to players. Man United, this one. They think that we're stupid. They're really there to try to insult our intelligence. But I'll go ahead and ask you, Mundo. From the press conference, obviously today, just to update you guys, those of you who joined late, there's about 30 of you in here now, guys. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel. We cannot do this. We cannot do this without you. It's a two-way thing. We want to build this community. But I just want to talk to you about this, Mundo, that there is this aspect of, in terms of like updates from the injuries. Martial is definitely out. Rashford and Greenwood trained, so hopefully they'll be fit. I didn't hear anything about Cavani, because was Cavani injured before international break? Now you think that Cavani would be fit. And I did see some photos of Cavani training the other day. So hopefully Cavani will be fit and Mason Greenwood and Rashford will play. But it'll be an interesting game, I think, Saturday night. And now coming on to doing a preview for the Brighton game, I want to ask you a question. If this game is any way like the game that we saw in the second game, I think the second or third game of the season, I think it was, at Brighton Hove Albion Stadium, that was an absolute, they dominated the game. They hit the bar and post record, Premier League record, 5 times. They had about 20 odd shots. I mean, what kind of game are you expecting from Brighton on Sunday night, Mundo?
I mean, I expect them to have a lot of the ball. I mean, they're a footballing team, aren't they? They keep the ball well. Trossard is looking decent. He's had he's called up for Belgium. He's a tricky player. I mean, we made Solly March look like prime flipping Ronaldinho in the first game. He was getting so much space. Surely he's not going to get that much space in this game. So, it's going to be a tough game. They're a footballing team. They're good on the ball. They'll keep the ball. They're probably 50-50 possession there or thereabouts. So it's just about how our players are after the international break. But the biggest plus for me is Pogba, having Pogba back in that midfield. That is like a win-win, because he's had some game time. He's got some more match fitness. And he's a game changer. He'll make a difference. Bruno Fernandes was suspended as well, so he's had a good rest. So it's looking positive from the United perspective. It's just who's going to be in our front three, really. That's the key question because of the injuries. But from a midfield perspective, we look stronger than we did before the break. So I'm quietly confident. I don't think it's going to be a free-scoring game. I think there might be 1 or 2 goals in it. But I think we'll just sneak up. I just think we'll just edge them.
I'm hoping that Cavani's fit. And I'm hoping that that Greenwood and Rashford can play. That would be my front three, me personally. I would definitely play Donny van de Beek and Pogba. And Fred maybe can redeem, or McTominay, one of them. I won't play them both. But I know that will start. Also, somebody else who didn't train today apparently is Lindelof. Apparently Lindelof didn't train either.
Yeah. He's injured. Yeah, We've got 4 players that are doubtful. Lindelof being one. So
Yeah,
Eric Bailly will come in,
everybody will come
which
in,
is not
hopefully.
necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, hopefully. It's interesting. He was on loan last season in the Championship at Akim D
Leeds.
asking at Leeds last season in the Championship, and he played fantastic. Actually, he did really well. What does the panelists think? This is a question, Oli Bumbaye. What does the panelists think about Ben White? I'll come to you, Oli Bumbaye. Do you rate Ben White as a central defender? And apparently, according to rumors, also, he is somebody apparently mentioned by what was really strange quote, but quite a quote came out through Duncan Castle, who he has a YouTube where he does a podcast. He's a former journalist. He's the journalist, very cozy and close to Jose Mourinho. Those of you who knew who he was and know about his work anyway, Duncan Castle, a journalist, he said that Maguire apparently said that he wants to play with another English centre-half, preferably Ben White, because they will be able to understand each other, which I found quite bit dodgy.
Lindelof speaks perfect English.
Bit Brexit FC talk anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, Oli Bumbaye, what do you think about Ben White?
I've seen the name touted about, but I don't know the player at all, to be honest. And as far as Maguire, whatever he's saying about he needs an English, that's all nonsense, man. You can play football. You don't need to speak exactly perfect English and stuff. Hold the bloody line, know what you're doing, organise that. That's about it. So, yeah, I wish I knew Ben White because it's a name that is out there, but I've not seen this guy. I don't even know who he plays for, to be honest.
Brighton. He plays for Brighton. That's what
is he gonna play against us lightly?
Yeah, he's gonna play against us, and he played against us the last game as well. Yeah.
Oh, now how was he? Do you guys like him?
I think he's decent. He's a good ball playing centre half, but I don't think he's that quick. I don't think, and to me, one of the biggest things when I watch other team centre halves, I look at recovery pace, and I look at pace. That's what I look at. Other things you can be coached into, your timings, all the other things have been playing part of but I look at individual things like pace, which you can't coach into someone. You can't turn somebody fast, you know what I mean? So I think he's decent, but I would like to see him another season in the Premier League to make a big judgment about him. But I don't think he's ready now for Man United. I think before we bought Maguire, it was somebody I thought, he's a good ball playing centre-half. And he's quicker than Maguire. I give you that. He's quicker than Maguire. He's more agile than Maguire. But that's what Maguire wants. Mundo, can I come to you? Sorry, Oli Bumbaye. Do you want to come back in there?
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to ask you guys. This is overlapping a little bit with what we spoke about last week. And I think everybody, even everyone in the comments, everybody, all points of view are valid at this point. I think certain point of views will come out stronger when we go into next season and when we have a transfer window. But I was just thinking, let's say because last week I was thinking this team is ripe now for a couple of real high-profile, ready-made players to take that starting 11 up. But I have no problem, if there's no money, that's what the board is saying. I don't know how we're all taking that. That's something that needs a little commentary. But if we go and get, 4 players, 100 million, whatever we're going to spend, and they come into the team, I'm wondering how, depending on how we go forward in next season, we are going to perceive that. Are we going to chew the manager out if it doesn't work? And these players are, like Dan James type, need time, building projects, or they might hit the ground running, which would be great. Or are we going to flip out on the board? This is just what I'm looking into the future to see, because let's say the board went and said to Ollie, right, who do you want, Haaland? We're going to break our back to try and get him. If we can't get him, we are going to get you some really top class stuff. We're going to get you Sancho. You know what I mean? And then he got them and we're still pretty poo. Then I think you could safely say, hey, it is the manager here. He's got to do better now with this team. He's got more firepower, more quality. But if he doesn't get that, I'm wondering where are we going to sit in that scenario? What do you guys think of that?
I'll let Mundo answer.
I mean, you can only get so much out of this current crop of players. So the manager has to be backed, and but I want us to, rather than just go down because our transfers are kind of, it sounds ridiculous me saying this, but they're kind of safe in terms of they just buy players that everyone knows, rather than unearth those gems, those players that low value but quality, like Liverpool seem to be able to do. Even Man City's most expensive player is £70 million. So there is a marked difference between our transfer business and teams like Liverpool and City, and obviously something's working because they're light years ahead of us.
What gets me going is that I think we sign players because of the media, social media following. We check before we sign players. We check out their social media. Everything you need to know about Man United as a club. That's who we are. We don't find those gems anymore. I mean, Dan James to me was a surprise. That's the last surprise kind of a player. But he was coming from the Championship. You know what I mean? And all of this, some of the commenters here were talking about British players. We're Brexit FC, Brexit FC. I think maybe we might be going to go to.
Dan James was to appease Ollie because I think that the board decided on certain players, but with Dan James, because he was only £15 million, they sanctioned it. So even though we didn't have any commercial value, because they brought Harry Maguire for 80 million because we needed a centre half, but also he's English, and they would have thought, and he's an England international. And they were probably thinking they saw the pound signs. So every decision they make for players, rather than from a football perspective, like we need this player, it's like we're only prepared to spend the money on this player if we can see that they're going to generate us some money as well.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. So that's why we don't tend to buy the 20, 30 million pound players that we can see as fans and say, if that guy was in our team, he would improve our team. They don't buy them because they won't sell shirts in Asia or they won't sell shirts in wherever in America.
But let me sorry, Chris. Do you know what you're saying is definitely, I don't disagree with it. But do you not think maybe the board, if they're going and, I mean, the signings we signed were, I thought, no-brainers. We needed a right back. We needed a centre back. And I do think now that Maguire is getting better, and I think Wan-Bissaka, contrary to what a lot of people may say, and Ollie alluded to this in the press conference, I agree with him. I think Wan-Bissaka is getting better all the time with the ball at his feet, with his passing, with his, little whatever skill, and he is getting more balls into the box. I always thought that would happen so long as the player doesn't start to get cold feet once he gets past the halfway line, which he doesn't. He does get up there. But wouldn't it be better for them? I mean, they wouldn't lose. If they sign Maguire, they sell shirts. Okay. I mean, I don't think he's going to sell that much shirts. He's an English guy. I don't know who abroad's going to buy Maguire's shirt. But if you go in and they have the option to sign 20, 25 million pound player, 30 million pound player, wouldn't they just as well do that also, because it's cheaper and it's a lot cheaper on the wage bill? The monetization of the player is a hell of a lot better than signing a big star. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a massive thing. If you buy Neymar, okay, you're paying, over the odds, but you're going to sell a lot of shirts. But let's say you went and bought Daka, let's say you mentioned, like for 17 million. Yeah, I mean, if somebody's saying to me, get me that guy, great. He'll probably take 50, 60, 70,000 pounds a week. So I think, do you know what I mean?
It's really interesting. It's really interesting. We've got a comment from here, Big Ron. The reason Ollie wants British car is because they want to play for United. Players like Lukaku, Sanchez, Pogba keep looking to move on. Yeah, that's an argument.
I think there's something in that.
Fair point.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But also a lot of players looking to move on. So why can't you say the same? Because I'll come back at you, Ollie Bumba, if you want to defend that, and also Big Ron in the comments. I'll come back at you and say, so how come Man City players didn't want to move on?
That's what I was about to say.
Aguero lasted, Silva lasted. How come those City players didn't want to move on? And they live in Manchester as well. Why didn't they go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG?
Well,
Why would you-
I'll tell you. Let me answer that. I think part of it is because when you go to Manchester City, even when if you look at Man City over the last 7-8 years since Mancini, it's a very successful club that is constantly getting stronger. They're always up, challenging for the league. It's very settled. There's a really good winning culture at City, way before Oli got there and way before Jose got there. And every year they're like minimum quarter-final, semi-final Champions League guaranteed, and they're always one of the favourites. So if you go there, you're going into somewhere where it's primed. I'm going to win things here, and Sterling is a really good example of that. Like, he left Liverpool and he said, "Look, everybody accused him of being money hungry. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but I can't deny that he says, I want to play with better players. I want to play like at a better level where they're going for stuff, they're winning stuff." And Harry Kane now, if you look at him, this is the flip side to what you said. He's a great player. He's never wanted to leave, but now he's having to seriously reconsider at his, he's not old. He's going to be 28 this year. His prime years now, next 2-3 years, these are his prime as a developed man. And he's probably going to put a transfer request in, and that's because he gave Pochettino 5 years, and, he played him into the ground. It wasn't at times the Harry Kane team, but he's got nothing to show for it. And the players that are coming to United, I think we've had some players that genuinely fight for the team and want to get this team where it should be. But, we do pay a big wage. We do give big exposure. And not everybody buys into the rebuilding of Manchester United. Now, if this was Man United or Ferguson, then nobody would want to leave. And nobody used to want to leave. Either they would fall out with the manager or...
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing on this? For me, it's all about the culture of the club. Because when Man City bought Aguero, when they bought David Silva, when they bought Vincent Kompany joined under Mark Hughes. Aguero and Silva joined under Mancini, right? And at that point, City were going through they were a project. It was a project. They hadn't won anything. And obviously there was the Aguero moment. He won them the league, etc., etc.
Yaya Toure, and before that, it was
Yaya Toure,
Robinho.
Yeah. And when they bought Aguero, he was top 5, like in terms of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
he was at least in the top 5 when Man City bought him, and they got him under the radar. They paid 35 million, which at the time was a bargain for Aguero. Right, he was highly rated, and he's now transpired to be one of the best strikers that's ever played in the Premier League. And through all of that, and he played under Mancini, he played under Pellegrini, and then obviously then Pep came. But you've never heard once about Aguero agitating for a move, his agent coming out saying X, Y, and Z. Nothing about David Silva. And even now that he's leaving age 32 and he's got a poor injury record, it's still amicable the way that it's happened. It's the way the club is run. It's run like a proper football club. And they've built a family. And it's like we used to be many years ago. So, as you were saying, Oli Bomaye, if this was Ferguson's Manchester United, we could make a direct comparison to how City are run now. We were run like a proper football club. Now, we sign big players when they crash and burn. And all we do as fans, and I say we collectively, because I'm not going to say, there's some fans that do, some fans that don't, but just say we, all United fans.
Yeah.
We tend to, as soon as a player has a bad patch of form, like Lukaku, he's no good, he's rubbish. We trashed Lukaku for a whole year. His first year was good, his second year wasn't so good. He's gone to Italy, he's donning it up with Milan, and now into Milan, and now you've got he's been linked with the top clubs around the world again. There's something about our club that poisons.
I'll have to stop. I'll have to jump in here. I don't want Lukaku back. I've already. I stopped collecting.
No, we're not having impact
from the Mancini way, man. I took him on that bike to the airport. People, I'm just letting you know officially. I'm letting it out. I took Lukaku to the airport because I was sick of him lack of control of that football.
No, but what I'm saying is there's something.
I'll give you that, guys. I'll give you that. Man United were not built around to get the best out of Lukaku. By literally, Lukaku wasn't a guy that can get the ball up and set the teams up and run with the ball from the halfway line. Lukaku is a box striker. You need to get the crosses in. You need to get them in, whip them in low, high. He was a box striker. He stayed within that 12, 16 yards to the goal, and that's where his goals come from. But I'm not having him back. But anyway, that's what Canada Devil says. Again, saying you agree with us because they look to move because they want to win the big trophies. And here's Big Ron in the comments coming back. Man City have been winning trophies, winning things. Success can change that. Very good point, therapist. Not saying all players are like that, but that explains it. But I think I'm just sick of, I don't know about you guys in the comments, but I'm sick of Rebuild FC. I am Transition FC.
Let me come in.
9 years. And
Let
we
me
are
come in.
still officially Rebuild FC. I seen
Let me
all
come
the
in.
other day. I'm like,
Look,
9 years. It's going to be another decade before we win a league, guys. Seriously.
do you know, I think Chris said something that I think has been our Achilles heel, a real problem for us. And this is as somebody with you lads and a lot of the people of our generation that saw the kind of culture that governed Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. I think when he left, if you've got to empathise a little bit with our situation and the current manager, just in the sense that it's been such a vast fluctuation. The three previous managers that we've had and what they have tried to do, and the sheer volume of exchange of players in and out is very, very high. And this isn't a team that has had a chance to maybe build something. The next manager's come in, kept a nucleus, kept a bit of this. It's been built up, tore down. Loads of players have come in, loads of players have gone out. And this isn't healthy. So I think with Ollie now, for me...
But that's why, can I just jump in there? That's why I screamed. I was screaming, for those who wanted to listen to me, after Ferguson left, I was screaming for a footballing structure. I was asking for Man United, a lot of fans were...
Yeah, I know.
To put a footballing structure in, to hire coaches, not managers. When you've got a director of football, let me finish this point. If that, soon as Gill and Fergie left, if they put in a director of football, they would have, and the head of recruitment and a proper scouting system and the vision how you want to play like Man United want to play, they would have hired coaches that would have suited the style that Man United want to play. And then after the manager's not successful, we would have got rid of those managers and brought in other managers that would have fitted us. That would have been a perfect, better, more thing. That's what Chelsea do. That's what Ibrahimovic does. Ibrahimovic has football advisors, directors of football, who we never hear them. We never see them. But they're there. That's why he hires coaches. If they don't pull out the trophies, good night, Vienna. Take care.
Okay, yeah.
What I'm saying to you is that I am sick of, answer the question. I am sick of Man United becoming and always becoming and have been a Man United that's been transition. Where is this? How can you be the head of the
let me answer it.
Let me finish this point. How could you be the number one club, just won the league, the manager leaves, the CEO leaves, and you come with mediocrity, bringing guys from Everton to come and help David Moyes to scout players? I mean, that's what John Murtough is now. Like, how you're at the top of the football pyramid in this country. We are the Real Madrid of this country. We are the Bayern Munich of this country. We are the Barcelona of this country in terms of Catalonia. We are the PSG of this country. We are and we crumble, and that's we finished 7th.
Nura, look, Habibi. All the fans, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything, but my empathies with the previous regimes, at a certain point after Ferguson left, I think in my head, and maybe a lot of people said, it's like, we're still Man United. But the reality of this club on the ground after Ferguson left and after just David Moyes, it was like we peeled the onion back and thought, whoa, there's a big hole here. And I think the club thought they were going to fix it by just bashing money at this thing, just getting a top manager. They don't know anything about football. Just get Van Gaal in. He's had an amazing World Cup. He's got great pedigree. Here's 120 million in your first season. Here's another 98 million in your second season. Bring in 12 new players. Let's go. Then he went forward. then he got out the Champions League. But that season, he had 14 injuries, bro. It was shocking. And they cut him. Why? Their eyes lit up when they thought instant success. Let's get Jose. Okay, Jose, here's £350 million. We're going to get you Paul Pogba, who's the best. We're going to get you Lukaku, who everybody wants. We're going to get you Mkhitaryan, the highest assists in the country. We're going to get you Matic, who's been phenomenal at Chelsea. Conte didn't want to sell him. Go and get the league. Okay, you got second, won the Europa. We're in the Champions League. And then they didn't follow through because he, contrary to other managers, what I like about him when it comes to the Glazers, I'm saying exclusively, is he's not going to take the bullets when he should and when he shouldn't. They saw that they can't handle this guy. This is a loose guy. He will drag us into the mud. And he was. In the press conference, he was. But it became toxic. So I think now with Oli, the one thing that I am seeing, that I have not seen under Van Gaal so much, when you hear what previous players said, and certainly under Jose it was divided, that family culture, that unity is back. Now, I know people have problems with the coaching staff. No. Honestly, Diridin, do you know when you watch the team play, you don't hear any nonsense off the pitch, not like before.
I give him that. Listen, I give him that.
No, let me finish.
Ollie's a good man manager. I never said.
Listen, listen.
About Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a good man manager, and the
listen to what I'm saying.
He's coaching and his coaching tactics.
Bro, look, listen to what I'm telling you. Look.
By the way, guys, there's 40 of you in here. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We cannot build this community without you guys. We're here having a heated discussion about Manchester United, and we've not even finished. We're supposed to finish looking at a Brighton game, looking at the preview, but it turns out to be an indictment, and you just see the frustration and how our fan base is toxic and is divided at any place because divide and users. They divide and rule over us, and we're all in a syndrome relationship. We're going to be an abusive relationship with the owners and the current regime, which is Woodward. I want to make this. The Glazers are too busy with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their other business in the US. Man United is just a cash cow, but the Woodward, Arnold, I want to remind you guys, Woodward, Arnold, and Judge are the guys who've got the power on Man United, starting with Woodward. Go ahead.
Bro, look, yeah. When Chris, when Mundo says to me, I want another manager, I completely empathize with him. I don't think the fans are divided. They just have a different viewpoint. Some fans see Oli and they believe they can see what's coming. They don't think he's got what it takes, regardless of the progress that we've made, which is not a phenomenal progress, but it's progress nonetheless. I'm a type of fan who takes that on board and thinks, yeah, they could definitely be right. But given the positives that I'm seeing, not only in terms of the progress, and I like the profile very, very much of the players that we've signed in Dan James, in Maguire, in Wan-Bissaka. They're not high-flying, flamboyant Di Marias, Sanchez. They're not like that. You need a bit more down to earth, and that's what I want anyway with whatever we sign. And somebody said in the comments, Grealish will run his heart out for United. I truly do believe that. That part of it, I think we're safe in that sense. But I believe Oli has done enough to keep me interested and intrigued, because I'm, for the first time in this 8-9 years, watching a team, and the only problem is sometimes on the pitch. But all the nastiness off the pitch, the clicks, all the bad press, it's all disappeared. And I look at a team, see a team,
a lot of that.
And you know what? I see a team that's happy, man. Yeah, they're not the best team in the world.
By the way, the guy that you said you liked, that was Jose Mourinho. That was causing a lot of those issues. And even in this moment, when the Sky cameras went to the training ground, accusing Paul Pogba of something, and all of these things. Yeah. So let's remember that. Let's remember Chelsea, who did it at United, every club he went to. He burned.
Dino, let's not remember that. I'd prefer to forget all of that.
No, but that's the comparison you're making. You're making out like there was cliques within the players. No, the players take the lead from the manager majority of time, and the manager was toxic. The manager was toxic. He said there are players who are toxic, but he was a toxic guy. But anyway, I want to move on to guys, to Brighton on Sunday. What are you thinking? What's your lineup, Oli Bumbaye? Actually, you know what? You still enough. Both of us have spoken. Mundo, tell me about your lineup.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about my lineup, but can I just say one thing, just on that debate that you just had, the two of you, and then I'll move on to the to my lineup. I wasn't his biggest fan, Mourinho, but there's one thing that he said that rings true. He said, "I've been in loads of top jobs, and I've never been able to say it's a rebuild, right? You know why? Because no other top club in Europe is going 3, 4, 5, 6 years without challenging and winning trophies. They're not, right? And the manager can't pull that blag that I'm rebuilding because they're like, we don't care, mate. We want trophies, right? So Ollie's now going into his third year. If he doesn't win something this year, he's in serious trouble. I'm telling you, because any other and if the board are happy with that, then we're in far deeper shit than we ever imagined. If our board's happy just to say, you're not winning trophies, you're not challenging, we're going to go down the pan. But anyway.
We're the new Arsenal, Mundo, before you move on. We're the new Arsenal. The board's remit is the manager's remit from the...
It's top four.
It's top four.
Yeah.
It's top four.
Yeah.
We all know
and
that.
That's very, very worrying. That is very, very worrying because I think that Ollie can keep us in the top four. I really do think he can. But in terms of taking that next level and winning trophies, I'm not so sure. So that's my concern. But in terms of the game on Sunday evening, it's a difficult one because of the international break. You don't know who's going to play, who's fit, whatever. But I'd expect to see Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. He may not risk Lindelof because of his back complaint, and he's got Bailly, he's not played. So Bailly, Maguire. Midfield, Pogba's playing, I think. Now, who's he going to partner? That's the tricky one. He might play Matic. McTominay's been on international duty, hasn't he? So he might play Matic. Bruno will play. Then it's the front three. I've no idea. If they're fit, maybe Dan James, Rashford, and Cavani.
Well, okay. Oli Bumbaye, what's your team quickly for Sunday? What was your keeper? Who did you pick, Mundo? Who's your keeper?
Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah, Henderson.
Oli Bumbaye.
Yeah, well, the manager knows best, man. He can pick whoever keeper he wants. There's two good keepers.
What team would you like to see then? What team would you like to see?
Any team my main man Ollie wants to see, I'm happy as long as we go out and win the game. And I think we will win the game. And hopefully we'll do it with, giving us some good football to watch. God willing.
So
I go into every game believing
who would you like to see starting in goal? Who do you think might start in goal? No?
I'd like to see... I think the guy's better than Henderson myself. I think Henderson is good, but I've watched him. The way he's kept goal, to me, he's not as good as De Gea. I think De Gea is the better keeper, personally. But he's definitely going to become a top keeper, but he's got to keep working. So Dave is the guy for me. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, I don't know, he's injured. Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Bailly is obviously always injured. Is he available by miracle or injured?
Bailly's available, yeah.
So Bailly and Maguire, Luke Shaw left back, midfield, of course, Fred and McTominay. No, I'm joking. I don't say it even if I'm thinking it. I'm not allowed to say it on here, man.
No. We value every opinion in here. We value every opinion.
I know. I'd like whatever happens in midfield, which I'm not sure about, to see Donny van de Beek, if he's ready, get half an hour, 45 minutes, and hopefully play good, take his chance. I'd like to see him get a run out. If the game is not a rough game and it's not going anything like we think it might go, and it's Brighton versus United, the first game of the season where, Ronaldinho played against us. If it's like that, then I don't know. But hopefully we'll get the job done. We'll get to see some of Donny van der Beek. And obviously up front, who's fit? Did you say Rashford's available? Rashford has to play. Martial fit? No?
No, injured. Knee injury.
Cavani, no?
Trained, yeah. I saw some photos of him training midweek.
Get Cavani in there then, and Greenwood on the right-hand side, Dan James, or maybe Diallo might come on and give us a little 15 minutes. I'd be happy with that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about Diallo. I don't think we're going to see that. We might see Dan James. Dan James obviously scored a fantastic goal, it must be said. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's the smallest guy on the pitch. He literally outdid the centre half. And absolutely buried it. Brilliantly taken, it must be said. Brilliantly taken header for Wales. Wales beating Czech Republic. It was Czech Republic, wasn't it?
Czech Republic, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Czech Republic are not an easy.
Listen. I've got to give a shout out to North Macedonia busting up the Germans like that.
Already did that at the beginning of the show. Already did that. We said we always like a bit of a nosebleed to the Germans, even though. Big up to everybody in Germany, those who follow us from Germany. We've got people here from Nepal, Canada, people from Finland, people from Eastern Horn of Africa, Djibouti. We've got all sorts of people in here on the chat. I'm going to pick my team. I think I would love to see on the midfield three. Obviously, the back four, I think, picks itself. I think the keeper, I think he most likely agree with Mundo. He will go for Henderson. And I think the three midfield, I personally would choose. I would love to see Donny van der Beek. I would love to see Fred or either McTominay, either one of them. And I would love to, I might say McTominay. McTominay, Donny, Pogba, and then see Bruno and play two up front. I would just play two up front, Rashford and Cavani, and maybe give Mason Greenwood for him to come on in the second half or later in the game. That's what I would play, me personally. But
do you think a diamond would suit playing the way Brighton played, Dino?
I think, if you want to get hold of the ball and then we want to. I think it's going to be an open game. They're a very footballing team. Obviously, before anybody says, like I saw it in the comments, big up Canada on here, who was saying that they're looking for revenge. They're definitely looking for revenge because actually in years to come, guys, that game of the season will be in quizzes. That second or third game of the season will be in quizzes because we actually, big up people from Moss side, man. You know where's heart at. Moss side forever, man. Fallowfield, that's what I'm talking about, people. Get in South Central Manchester, people, man. My people. I think they will be looking for a absolute revenge because it will be in quizzes years to come. Man United scored the winner after the final whistle went. That's one of the most extraordinary things about that game. There was a penalty, then the whistle went, then VAR came in and awarded us a penalty. So it was it was like a golden goal. Those of you remember the golden goal that won the Euros. Was it France-Italy? France-Italy in Belgium, I think they were playing, in that Trezeguet! Oh my word. By the way, we're going to do a podcast on here, guys, looking back at 90s football. So any of you into 90s football, we're going to be going through it and we're going to hopefully plan it with these two guys. We're going to call it Nostalgia. Nostalgia, mate. Nostalgia. The podcast is going to be called Nostalgia Podcast because we want to talk about when Man United were great. When people like Mundo, people like Oli Bumbaye were sneaking into Old Trafford. We want to talk about those days, man, where we were just kids and we were, in terms of like just being so happy that Man United were winning and contending for league titles. And we took it off.
Man, harsh times.
We took it for granted. Exactly, and now it's big up Manchester anyway, man. Big up all the Mancunians, man. And big up to every one of you being in here. There's about 50 of you in here. Please like, share, subscribe, because we cannot do this without you guys. We won't be able to build this community without you. We are a community, and hopefully also those of you, if you're not following me on Twitter, get on Twitter. That guy Red Devil, it's just there underneath on the red tape there on the screen. Also, the Mighty Mundo, Mighty Mundo on Twitter. Oli Bumbaye, follow him to the local Sainsbury's. And that's where you might follow him. Oh, is it Safeway up there? Where is it? Where are you at? He's on the other side of Manchester. But
if you want to find me, you'll find me either raiding the fridge or praying for lockdown to end so I can tear it up on the pitch. That's what I'm doing these days.
There you go, guys. You heard it. You've heard it. Yeah, Canada Devil. This is the guy I was talking about before. Trust me. We'll tell that story. We'll get the boys, we'll get some more boys in, and we'll talk about how we used to sneak in back in the day. We used to sneak into most things. It wasn't just a football. We used to sneak into contests. Also, cinemas. We used to do it all. Yeah. The bus, we used to sneak on the bus. How could you sneak on the bus, right? Ultimate blagger. There's a culture especially of blagger. And you know what? I definitely want to big up the therapy army. That's who you are, guys. You are the therapy army. Malcolm is right. Trust me. Therapy army. That's who you are, guys. And we're going to hopefully look forward to a good game, a club that's been re-energized. Obviously, we all felt deflated after that 3-1 defeat to Leicester City. We got knocked out of that cup. Everybody was down and out, and we all were like, we're not looking forward to watching Man United again because we were just like international break. We'll embrace the international break because we just needed to get, get out of the kitchen, basically. It was too hot in that kitchen, and we were all getting into the backs. So we're hoping for a fantastic game at Old Trafford. One thing, you know what? Most people think I'm really critical of the club, and without, you know what I mean? I am critical because I care about this club and we all care. Mundo cares. Oli Bombaye cares. Every one of you loves this club and cares. But when they're doing something good, we have to praise them. And I would say Man United, since the lockdown, in terms of the Man United Foundation and helping out food banks in Manchester, they've done a fantastic job. I'm always going to be fair. I will always say it as I see it. Manchester United as a football club, we're not so embedded into the community as Man City, if you are from Manchester. Obviously, Man City was part of propaganda to get more people to follow Man City because Man United were big as it is, global, humongous club. But I think during this lockdown, the club, the Manchester United Foundation, the work that they've done in the community, the work that they've done with the food banks has been absolutely fantastic. I also want to put big a shout out to this campaign that's recently, it's been developed, and hopefully we're going to see. Oli talked about it in his presser, and he said hopefully there'll be big banners talking about this against racism, united against racism. So anything that where it can help in terms of the fight against discrimination, all forms of discrimination, and Man United are taking a lead in that, and it's not just words, it's action. I am behind that, and I think that, I don't know what you feel about that, Mundo and Oli Bombaye, but I don't think anybody would be against that. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, fantastic. I think it's much needed, but it's more than just United, isn't it? It's like it's a blight on society, or this racism on social media, especially football fans racially abusing their own players. It's just disgraceful.
Yeah, of course. It's tragic.
Yeah.
You know what? It's tragic on everything, and the level of cowardness. It's like social media have let, the cowards that back in the day without social media were just told you're a coward to the people. They won't do anything because you used to tell them to their face.
Can I just say?
Keyboard warrior now. Everybody's a keyboard warrior, and everybody is out here doing absolute madness, racially abusing people. Oh, I don't think that this new campaign from United is about putting pressure on social media companies. Like I said, it's easy. Social media companies, if they really wanted to stop racism, hate, and all sorts of discrimination, they could do it so easy, guys. Don't be fooled by social media. If I was to post a clip of a Man United game on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook, that would go quickly on copyright infringement. Why can't they use some of these keywords and these racist emojis and other sexist, homophobic, transphobic emojis that are used, language that are used? Why can't the algorithm pick that up and get it out of the way before the reader or anybody reads those offensive tweets or posts or Instagram? Why can't it do that? They can do that. Oli Bombaye, come on in.
Well, man, it's like Emily Pankhurst said, man, deeds, not words. Everybody can talk a good game and stuff. Racism is the lowest form of humanity, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think a lot of it, even there are some genuine people that have abased the human race low, that take exception to somebody's skin color or whatever. And then there are those other ones that do it as a form of banter, as a form of, just because they can. And as you said, Thierry Henry, big up Thierry Henry, he's stopped social media completely now. It's a high-profile guy with big followers. He's left social media, and he said exactly the same thing. He said, music industry, film industry, immediately taken down. Why can't you use the algorithm and develop it for these kind of things and stop it? Because
they actually like the controversy. They like that.
Look, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Yeah. Everybody talks a good game, but if everybody just boycotts social media for just one day, the losses are huge, and it will show you that it's serious. If you want Glazers out, let's say everybody boycotted the whole 75,000 one game. That tells them that you're serious. But the power is in the hands of the people. But are the people going to be able to collectively do something for just one game, for just one day, just to show that this is the power here? Because everything you do and everything you have is dependent on me, on you, on Mundo, on everybody on this channel, on the bigger fan base. And if we don't want to cooperate, mate, what can they do? But we won't do that. And that's the unfortunate part of it all. Anyway, but hopefully 5-6-0, Man United, Fred hat-trick, no messing about.
Get in there. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Man like Fredinho from the other side of Rio. You know what I mean? The favelas of Rio doing it. Not Fred. I hope the Fred of Rio turns up, not the Fred of Stoke. I'm really hoping that. I'm really hoping that.
We've got a problem with Brazilian players. Like, we've had Fred, Kleberson and Anderson. I think if you were to look at all the Brazilian players over the last 30 years, right, they've got to be the three worst, haven't they? It's like, what's wrong with that?
Listen, no, seriously. Cleverson was a World Cup winner, so put some respect on his name, by the way. And he was actually running things for Brazil.
Charlie won a Champions League for Liverpool. What does that mean?
Listen, he's a World Cup winner. Put some respect on his name. I think Anderson was cut by injuries, but Anderson in big games he turned up. Let's put that right. Anderson had that injury before Man United signed him. He was never the same player after that. But I thought for Man United shirt, he was brilliant. But anyway, guys, we've gone on for far too long. Let's all hope. And I want to say to all my Christians out there, happy Easter and Good Friday to everybody who's celebrating there. And if you're not Christian and you're not celebrating, you need to celebrate with the Christians because we need to all spread that love. So happy Easter, everyone. And we have a fantastic Easter weekend here in the UK or in the Christian world. And, you know, and obviously there are some Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox. They don't celebrate Easter, but you know what? Let's join the Christians in the Western countries.
Yeah, on Sunday, let's all get our Smarties Easter eggs and watch Man United smash Brighton. That'll be a perfect Sunday.
Get in there! That's talk I want to have. Get in there!
Is this the United therapy? Is this Dino Mundo? Is this for real? Is this a wind
up, man? This is for
April Fools was yesterday, man.
We're not all. Listen, we're not all. Listen, we're.
I love it though. I love it though. I like it. I like it, man.
We just see too many holes and we can't be silent. And also, and one thing I want to just let you viewers guys know, you will never see me, and this won't come in. Actually, I'm going to be breaking down what's true and what's not true when it comes to transfers. We'll be breaking down the BS that's within. We'll be unpacking transfer stories, because one thing you will never get on this channel, you will never get clickbait. You will never get clickbaited. We don't do clickbait, guys. We know Man United too well. We know we don't get excited. I've never got excited about United signing a player under this current regime. But anyway, we've said that. Big up everybody. Therapy Army. Big up. Give yourselves a pat on the back for staying with us. I think we might have sent our brother in Nepal. I think it was this Samir. I think we sent him to bed early. I think as soon as he had Oli Bumbaye, he was like, I'm off. I've had enough of Ricky. I'm off. I can't take another one. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Like I said, happy Easter, happy Good Friday. Have a fantastic Easter weekend. Those of you who are in the UK and everywhere else. And let's hope 3 points and a fantastic performance for Man United against Brighton, because we know what the game after Brighton is. Jose. We're going to be coming up against Jose, and it's going to be a fascinating insight. Can we avenge that? But we won't go into that too much. Let's get Brighton out the way.
Get your sleeping bags out for that one, because that one's going to be a ball fest. Because he's going to park about 6 white buses.
It's going to be a very interesting game. Anyway, big up to all of you guys. Big up, yes, and the atheists as well. Big up all the atheists as well, man. Big up, man. Big up all. Listen, we everybody's welcome here. Atheist, believer, non-believer, believing whatever you want to believe, you can come on here, have your point of view. This show is the United Real Therapy. It's an authentic voice for Man United fans who are not having the wool pulled over their eyes. This is the channel, people. No pulling the wool over your eyes. Real, raw as it gets. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, like we said. Thank you, Mundo. Thank you, Oli Bumbaye. And we should see you for the match reaction, hopefully, after. And we'll do a much of a later one, around 10:30 on Sunday, for hopefully with Oli Bumbaye. And we'll see if I can get our friend Irfan on here as well. Big up your chest, big up yourselves. Peace, love, light, always.